Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Inside Fitness Radio presents Total Fitness Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Matthew.
I'm Walter. How you doing?
And today we are talking about becoming unstoppable and what that basically means. A lot of the time in social media, in books, in just general and business, fitness, whatever, it's that beast mode and, going into something with, just a breakthrough and enjoy the struggle, enjoy the discomfort, this and that, and this and that. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, because to the credit of those people that might be a little over the top with what they're saying, it's definitely has its applications. So I'll start because just before this, we were talking about David Goggins and how I'm reading his old book, I should say, Can't Hurt Me, which is basically the idea of his book is basically, I went through so much bad shit and so much horrible punishment and discomfort and struggle, and it made me the strongest man that I ever could have dreamed of and who I have become today. And it's still allowing me to push forward more and more and more every single week and every single day to become even better. So you had something really good. I'll ask you, Walter, how was your day? Or how's your day going?
Oh God, already. Okay, how is my day? How am I today? I'm in paradise. I am living in paradise.
Why is that?
Well, as I talked last week on my side, challenges are good. There's no such thing as a bad challenge. In life, we face a lot of challenges. So whenever I hit a challenge, what am I hitting? I'm hitting an opportunity to grow. And life is about growth. Therefore, I'm constantly hitting opportunities to grow, and that is good. Therefore, I am living in paradise. Now, that takes a huge jump of mindset that, at times it still gets you down. You still go, oh, this thing. But when I really sit down and I go, okay, am I going to grow from this or am I going to run from this? Is this going to stop me? Unstoppable? No. If I grow through the experience, I will not be stopped. I will continue to go. I will continue to grow.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I am.
I was talking about this on my Facebook community actually today and yesterday and the day before about struggle. It's been something just because of the book that I'm reading, and it's something I've always applied in my life, but I didn't really realize it until way later in my fitness journey, like what it actually meant to become unstoppable. And as you said, there's going to be days where you can push past that comfort barrier and you're going to blow through it and it's going to be easy. And other days, it's just going to feel like absolute crap. And, you're going to want to hold back and you're like, oh, I want to stay in bed because I'm tired and the covers are warm and this and that. But when it comes down to actually breaking past that and, building up to becoming unstoppable, I think people put it into way big of a perspective in the sense of, well, look at what David Goggins did. He just woke up one morning and started running and doing this and that. And he lost 106 pounds in 3 months. And, I can't do that. That's crazy. Or maybe they get in the head that like, oh, I can definitely do that too. If he did it, I can do it. And, you have those kind of like two different personalities there. And the problem with that on both ends is it's too extreme. If you're telling yourself you can't do it, that's way too extreme, because you definitely can. But you have to build up to it. Maybe you can't do it in 3 months. If at the end of the year, I told you that if you don't achieve A, B, or C, I'm going to hold a gun to your partner's head. And if you didn't achieve it, I pull the trigger. You will probably find a way how to do something, right? But that's very extreme. And that's what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
So and then the other side of that is just saying, no, I want to stay comfortable. And that's extreme too. It doesn't sound like it because you're like, what's wrong? What's extreme about being comfortable? It's extreme laziness, in my opinion. Like you're on that end of, I'm so comfortable that I couldn't care where my life goes. Really. I mean, we all know those people, and I'm not calling anybody out here, maybe a little bit, but if you are just comfortable going in, doing the job as average as you can, then you come home from work and you watch TV until bedtime and you just eat a crappy meal, you eat your comfort food because it gives you joy and this and that. Not everything in life is supposed to give you joy.
True. Not anything in life is supposed to give you joy. But I would hesitate to ask those people like, okay, you're living a life that is average here, average here. Do you want an average marriage?
Yeah.
Do you want an average health span? Do you want an average, like you can't choose average across the board.
That's what I mean.
I know there are those people who do, but I have no comprehension of how that works. Because I mean, I want the best marriage, the best job, the best for me, all those things. And I will work towards getting those things. It doesn't mean that I'm going to bash my head against a wall or kill myself if I don't. I will achieve the best that I can.
Yeah.
By doing the most that I can.
And by doing the most, you constantly set a new comfort level too. And that's what I talked about today with with some of my clients was, for those watching or for those listening, basically picture a glass empty, right? Or, picture a glass empty and there's a piece of paper over the top that, the water has to seep through to get to the next level, whatever, horrible analogy. You start at ground zero. To get to level 1, you have to go break through that second door or the first door, sorry, to get to level 1. And then that's your new level. You're comfortable there. That door has been broken down. You can go back from 0 up to 1 pretty easily. It's not that hard now because you broke that plane of the first level. And now the second level is level 2. And maybe it's a little bit more stairs this time, maybe it's a little less stairs, like whatever it is, but you break through it. And it's like so many people look at it going from 0 to 100 and they don't really care to think about like every single layer in between. You do not walk up to a woman, a man, or whatever, and you say, will you marry me? After just meeting them, you say, hey, my name's Matthew. What's your name? Oh, Walter. It's so nice to meet you, Walter. How are you doing today? Do you come here often? I saw you from across the gym. You look great, man. Like, how did we start our friendship? It didn't just come from, hey, let's start a podcast together.
No, it came from, I have nobody to work out with. Do you want to work out with me? I need a spotter.
And that's how it does. You don't walk up to somebody and say, I want to get married right now. You walk up to them and you introduce yourself. You make the impression. You date them. You go through fights maybe.
I'm going to break something right here. He's not saying we're married.
No.
He's saying we have a really good friendship. Because I think some people may be getting a little mixed up here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I've unfortunately trapped another human being into that one. Poor Tova. But that's it. It's basically, you don't, like when I met my fiance, I didn't just walk up to her and say, hey, let's get married. It was years of dating. It was years of impression. It was making a good impression on her parents. It was making a good impression on her friends, meeting her friends, meeting her parents, meeting her brother, being friendly with her brother, being best friends with her brother. Like it's all these things. And then it got to the point where I was like, okay, well, I still can't just jump right to, hey, let's elope. I mean, some people can, whatever. I was like, I want to have a wedding, so I'm going to ask her to marry me. And now we're going through the 1.5 years of wedding planning to get to the marriage. And after the marriage, it's still work. You don't reach your goal and then you just end it there. As Walter could probably tell you, how long have you guys been together?
32 years.
32 years. It's been super easy, right? 100%. Like, no, yeah.
It's been a challenge and a good challenge. And I think we've both grown through the experience, grown together through the experience. But yeah, there are days where each of us wants to kill the other one. Absolutely. We're human beings. Yeah. Do we go, oh, it's not working, I'm leaving, goodbye? No. And I think that's the problem. A lot of people, there's this attitude of either it's going to be easy, so I will stick around, or it's going to be really hard, so I'm just going to bash my head against that wall instead of thinking, is there a door anywhere?
Mm-hmm.
Look for the door.
You said something I liked there, which was, it's easy, so I'm going to stay here. I really like that, actually.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is. It's like, this is easy and I'm going to stay here because it's easy. The second, I don't know, we've turned into, I've noticed over the years since even when I was in like middle school and high school to where like high school kids are now, and seeing the curriculum that's being taught and like the way they're graded and all that. And again, this is just with school, but it's like, it's almost everything, even with fitness, like the way people are taught and like ingrained to say, once there is resistance, pull back and just, say, I'm done, that is basically what we have come to as a society.
Only works with Japanese fighting techniques.
Thank you, Sun Tzu.
Pull back, move forward. But it doesn't work in life. You can't pull back. You can't step away from the sticky bits.
Mm-hmm.
Life is messy. And thank God. If it wasn't messy, it'd be awfully boring.
So boring. Yeah. What's the point of even living if you're not actually living?
Yeah.
I think people forget to realize that, like, we were so lucky to experience these discomforts. Yes, you are extremely lucky to feel comfortable, but I take it as a privilege to be able to feel the struggle and the discomfort, because again, for most people, obviously, I'm not talking about, obviously you're outliers in that, but for the most people that are listening to this, if you're listening to this on an iPhone, if you're listening to us watching from your TV or YouTube, you probably have had a somewhat privileged life at this very moment, in the sense you have a roof over your head.
World.
In the first world, that's it. Exactly. You have a roof over your head, you have food on the table. Maybe it's not much, maybe you don't have the best roof, but like, that's the idea. You're not homeless and you're not like completely out of it. But my point is, when it comes down to whether or not, you choose the route of easy or hard, work harder, not smarter, or sorry, work smarter, not harder, is obviously a good point. But sometimes you do need to just bite the bullet and say, you know what? Yeah, it might be easier to sit here and watch TV, but is that going to be good for me in the long run? And it's that delay of gratification. It's like, what am I willing to sacrifice right now so that my life can be better in the future? And we're not willing to do that. I mean, how many people lose millions upon billions of dollars every day in the stock market because GameStop goes up $400 and people buy in at 415 thinking we'll keep going, and it crashes down to 200. It's the same. You see a breakthrough in the market and people are like, buy, 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 buy. And then right as it's getting to that resistance point, people are like, or that new high, there's obviously traders that will buy in there thinking it will keep going up, and then they lose all their money when that pulls back and it just crashes.
I mean, the same, I'll take it even further. It is easier to buy a lottery ticket than it is to put that money into a savings account.
Yeah.
Granted, a savings account is not going to give you that much interest, but it allows you to accumulate something that you can then use to make a better
investment
interest or growth rate on.
Yeah.
But if you're just going $2, oh, it didn't win. Oh, it didn't win. Oh, it didn't win. I got $4 back, but I spent 12. And what is the point? But it's easier. We want the easy way out. We want the fad diet that will help us lose the weight instead of the work that is involved with actually tracking your food and being careful.
How many clients come to you asking to lose like 30 pounds in a month?
Well, they stopped because I started laughing at them. I laugh right in their faces. I mean, that's impossible. That's impossible.
Yeah. Because, well,
it's called lipo. Go get lipo.
This is the best part.
I hope it works.
This is the best part, because they know it's not a quick fix. People, you listening at home, this is not a quick fix. That anything in life is not a quick fix. To get anywhere in life, to become an overnight sensation, you probably need about 10 years of work behind that to become that overnight sensation. Absolutely. Unless you're born into a wealthy family, unless you just happen to collide paths with some superstar that just really likes you and wants to put you in a movie to be an actor or a singer or a musician, whatever.
The new Maria?
Yeah.
Like a year's worth of auditions.
Yeah. So, still though.
Yeah.
A year's worth. How many people, and this is it, we like getting into fitness and getting into coaching people, especially, it made me realize how many people are willing to give up on the snap of a finger. And again, what we talk about, what our businesses are about in terms of promotion of what we believe fitness is not just the physical. When I say fitness, I mean, I want you to improve every aspect of your life, including your mental, your spiritual, your financial, your relationships, everything. And the amount of people that come to me and they're like, we were talking about relationships. You've been married for 32 years. And it's like, they'll come into me and they'll be like, oh, so-and-so, he did this. And I don't know, like it kind of annoyed me. I don't know what I'm going to do. I was like, did you talk to him or her? Did you do the uncomfortable thing and actually have a conversation?
Yeah. How about
No.
setting some boundaries or trying to? And if you can't, then you know you have an issue.
Yeah.
I was reading about someone who came from a clearly being gaslighted by his partner. Gaslit.
Gaslit.
Yeah.
Lightened.
Everything you do is wrong. Everything you do is wrong. Everything you do is wrong, in spite of the fact that they pay all the bills, take care of the house, do everything, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, what am I going to say to this person? Are you inviting this behavior? Why are you allowing this to happen? How about some boundaries? But there's fear.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
What will happen?
I'm going to be alone.
Well, it's going to be better than this, isn't it?
But you're used to it. And that's it. I mean, why do so many, and this is like, I mean, to talk about that, like why are so many abuse, like a lot of people who don't, never been with, or been in an abusive relationship or have had friends or family members in an abusive relationship. Like it's, before I knew people that were in abusive relationships, I was like, why don't you just leave? Like, why are you staying there? Because it's so familiar and there's so much behind that is for every good habit you try to, again, like this is aside from the abusive stuff, like every good habit you try to build, there is 10 bad habits that are trying to pull you back from even trying to get to this first step of that first one.
Absolutely.
It's the same with an abusive relationship. It starts off happy-go-lucky, everything's good. And as you said, then it's like, oh, well, he was yelling at me because I didn't do the dishes the way he liked, but it's okay. Like, he was right. Like I should have done it this way. And he took me out to dinner after. So, that's how it builds and builds. And then you just get used to this.
And it turns into, he took me out to dinner once the bruises faded.
Yeah.
Where does it go? How far do you let it go? Wow, this talk has really gone into a different direction.
It's how it has to be. I mean, if you're talking about becoming unstoppable, are you gonna, like, this is what it comes down to. Like, if you're talking about becoming unstoppable, you have to have control over your minds and your fitness. You cannot become an unstoppable person when the one thing holding you back, the biggest thing holding you back is yourself.
Yeah.
And how many people listening right now, and this is a great exercise. I could probably think of 5 things off the top of my head of what I'm holding myself back in right now. And I'm sure if you guys, want some homework to do while listening to this, write down 5 things that you personally are holding yourself back from. Because it's at the end of the day, no matter what position you're in, it may not have been your fault that you're there. It may not have been your fault you lost your job from COVID. It may not have been your fault you fell into an abusive relationship. It may not have been your fault that you have a genetic disposition to heart disease, whatever it is. You were there. Sorry. That's all good. You were there. You know what it's time to do? Take the responsibility of your own life and figure out, how am I going to get out of here if I want a better life? If you're fine being in that situation where, it's a struggle to pay rent every day, it's a struggle to walk up the stairs every day, it's, you constantly are fighting with your spouse every other day, then fine, stay there. But if you want to become an unstoppable person, actually take accountability for what's going on in your head.
Have a look at your life and say, if I could do anything I wanted, what would I do? And you'll quickly see where you're being held back by your own self. Maybe you can't be prime minister. I was going to say president of the United States. But maybe you can't be prime minister.
I don't speak French.
But you can get involved in other things on the ladder to that. Yeah. You can be of service to your community in other ways. You can get out and do other things. So instead of looking at only this one goal, it's either that or nothing. I'm 65 years old. I better get that Olympia first soon. I want that statue. Who wouldn't? But I know it's never going to happen because of my age and when I started off. Does that mean I'm going to stop working? I'm just going to stop training? I'm going to stop bodybuilding?
No.
I'll go as far as I can because I love it. So find out what it is in your life that you love and go for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it. It's exactly as Walter said. Figure out what you love, do it. And just because shit gets hard, don't stop. Push through that barrier. Life's hard.
Use the difficulty to grow.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else to add. You said it perfect.
That sounds good to me.
There you go, guys. You know where to find us, at Matt_fitness. That's at Walter at your service.
At your service.
At your service. If you have any questions, he's at your service. Ask away. He will be happy to answer.
Please.
Same for me.
It's always good. I need people to ask me questions so I can answer them on my site.
If you guys do have any questions, you can drop them in the comments. You can DM us. Our names are right below. If you enjoyed this podcast, by all means, let us know too. If you hated it, also let us know. We aren't going to change a thing. No, I'm joking. We'll take your criticism into
if there's something you'd like us to talk about, let us know. And maybe
Absolutely.
we'll add it to the list.
Maybe. We're important people. We're super important. We got important things going on. There you go, guys.
Good night.
Actually, I do want to say one more thing about being unstoppable now that I thought of it, because as we were just about to end this, as you guys will start to hear, and if you have listened to us before, we were just on our own, Walter and I would always say, I would say, stay safe. He would say, stay breezy.
Stay breezy.
So I didn't tell you this yet. The reason why we say that, stay breezy, is because a very good friend's best friend of my fiance's, one of the most amazing people, his name was Jesse. He unfortunately passed away a year ago today from a very rare form of cancer. And he had a podcast named the Blessed and Breezy Podcast, where he talked about all these things in terms of, being a better person, having a better life, even when, shit gets you down like cancer, how he was, and he was just the most incredible person. So the reason you'll always hear us saying that is because, again, in tribute to him. So stay safe, guys.
Stay breezy.
Take care. Bye-bye.